Today, we're joined by SJSU Online student Vennis, who's going to discuss how he has been able to return to school to complete his degree online. So Vennis, really looking forward to having this conversation today. I was wondering if you could start by introducing yourself and just sharing a few of the significant moments that shaped who you are and led you to become an SJSU Online student.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. So I'm Vennis. I'm currently in my second semester. I'm studying information science and data analytics at SJSU Online. And I had originally gone into school back in 2018, straight after graduation from high school. I was studying electrical engineering at the time, and after a few years, I realized after I was struggling with a lot of the course load, a lot of the content, and I realized that engineering might not be for me. So I took a break from school, and came back in after a couple of years, and now I'm looking to finish my degree at SJSU Online.
Awesome. Thanks for giving us that background. Yeah, I know you've shared with me just how you initially started at SJSU, but even though maybe the experience didn't go maybe as you had planned for it to go, it seems like you had a very mature response to it, to kind of realize that that wasn't the direction that you wanted to go in ultimately, and to pause, kind of take a break, reflect, and then figure out a new direction for yourself. And I'm glad you've been able to re-enroll at SJSU through SJSU Online and a program that you feel like is a better fit for you in a better direction. I know you
absolutely.
mentioned that you are currently enrolled in our info science and data analytics program.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you, what about that program appealed to you, and how is it enabling you to make progress towards your hopes, dreams, and goals that you have?
When I originally was studying engineering, I found that a lot of the stuff that I did gravitate towards more was not so much like the tinkering with wires. That stuff didn't really interest me, as I found out as I was studying. But I really enjoyed a lot of the programming aspects. We would study C. We would study I think we dabbled a bit in like Python, stuff like that. But I found that when it came to like programming languages, that's what I really enjoyed. And when I decided I want to go back into studying, finishing my degree, I decided that I wanted to pursue something that was more aligned towards something like that, maybe software or something like a computer science degree. And I looked towards SJSU Online. That was initially where that was the first thing I looked towards, because formerly an SJSU student. So, and I saw the ISDA Information Science Data Analytics program, and it seemed really interesting. It's not exactly computer science, but it does deal a lot with aspects of Python programming. We do a lot with data, a lot with numbers. So there is a lot of similar trains of thought when it comes to that kind of thing. And as I studied it the last year, I've found that I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun, like learning how to approach things from like the perspective of a data analyst, and looking at what the numbers mean, collecting the numbers, and then kind of translating it towards shareholders who are looking for some value in the numbers and the data that we're collecting. So I found a lot more passion in that kind of study that I'm doing now, which is really nice, because it's very good when you actually enjoy what you're studying, I found out.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you. Yeah, and it just sounded like it as you were describing the program and what your experience has been so far. I had a similar experience when I started college. I started out in one major. It was also an engineering major, and after a short period of time, I was like, yeah, this is not the direction for me. But kind of like you had shared too, kind of reflected upon like, well, what are the things that do interest me or that I am passionate about, and then finding a program that kind of aligned with those interest areas. So it sounds like you've been able to do that as well, where you took the things that were interesting from your previous experience in electrical engineering and then figured out kind of a new application for that,
Exactly.
academically, and then also I imagine like professionally too, what you imagine for yourself. And you were able to start, you were sharing some insights and experiences so far of what the program has been like. Do you have an example or a story about maybe how you've experienced the program or what you've been able to apply so far, beyond the program itself?
It's kind of just changed how I just uh just like view data or just any kinds of information. Currently I work in inside sales, kind of adjacent to the agriculture industry in the Central California. And so I've kind of been looking at how the two kind of relate. So I've been working at this industry for like a couple, I think like about 2 or 3 years now at this point. And over the time I was working there, I really like started to gain more knowledge about like agriculture industry and industrial and manufacturing and just kind of those industries. And it wasn't until I started studying ISDA that I kind of realized, oh, there's a lot of overlap when it comes to like the usage of data and the need for data in different industries, not just like the tech industry, which is where I initially was like, you know, everyone wants to go towards the tech industry, but then I realized, oh, there's like actually applications when it comes to like other industries. And so I started to realize I can really apply a lot of the knowledge that I'm learning and what I'm studying to just different aspects when it comes to just pretty much anything. Like everyone wants to analyze their data of their sales, every company. So it's just like, it's really made me realize just like the importance of this kind of role as a data analyst.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just really cool to hear that, you've been working in this job for a couple of years prior to enrolling in this program. And now that you are also, completing these courses, you're able to kind of see your role in your organization through like a new lens, so to speak. And like you said, just really thinking about the applications in all different types of industries and sectors and organizations. I think, like you said, likewise, people tend to think like something like this would be most applicable in like the tech, industry or engineering or something like that. But like you said, it can really be applied anywhere. It's just how you use it to make meaning out of data and analytics and whatnot, and use that to inform your decision making and your processes and your strategy and all that sort of stuff. So that's cool. I know you've also been really involved too in the creation of our SJSU Online student organization. Can you share a little bit about what that is and how it's been beneficial for you and for our community so far?
Yeah, so it's been a bit of just an independent kind of just a couple of students who were looking to kind of form a community as online students, as SJSU online students. And I know initially when I got involved with it, it was because I started off at SJSU Online. My experience with college was, shaped by the first however many years I was living on campus. And when I came back to school as an SJSU Online student, I realized that while the online program gives so much opportunity for people who, I work full time, or for other people who are full time, who are their parents or who just don't have the ability to go to campus. One of the things I was missing that I realized at my first semester was I was missing a lot of the engagement with other students. It felt very like isolating to just be, going through Canvas assignments one by one, not really interacting too much with other students outside of maybe the occasional discussion post. And I felt that it would be nice to have more of a casual environment that wasn't really too focused on academics or, homework or anything, where, it'd be nice to just meet other students who we're all studying together or studying at the same time, studying the same programs. So that would be nice to have that kind of commonplace area. We started a Discord, and we hosted a couple just mixers, played some games. We had some people just show up saying that they're also looking for something similar. It was something that they were also like looking for. And so we're just trying to provide something like that, something where maybe people can, take a break from, their daily grind of doing Canvas assignments and just interact with other students and kind of learn who they're studying with.
That's awesome to hear. And I appreciate you just sharing a little bit about kind of how the group has formed and some of the experiences that you all have had so far. Yeah, I think for SJSU Online, even though it is 100% online experience, we want people to feel a sense of connection to their classmates, to their courses, to their faculty. So I really appreciate you just taking the initiative to take on that leadership position, trying to organize people, trying to organize opportunities for people to come together and connect. And like you said, it doesn't have to be in like an academic setting necessarily, but just opportunities for people to just come together, relate, share resources, ideas, hang out. When, as you're trying to balance all these things that you have going on. And that, got to give you kudos, in addition to working a full-time job and being enrolled in this program, you somehow also found time to, create the student organization and create a sense of community within SJSU Online. So thank you for that. I think overall just wanted to, just acknowledge just the impact I think that you're having. And I think one thread that I saw as you were kind of sharing your story as a whole, it just seems like, overall, you kind of identify opportunities at every stage, whether it was initially when you were enrolled at SJSU and then you took that opportunity to kind of define for yourself, like what direction you see yourself going in, or like you said, how you've been able to apply what you were learning in your program to your current role and like the opportunities that presents, identifying opportunities to create a student organization within SJSU Online. So just seems like that's kind of the common thread for you. I'm sure you're going to be successful in whatever venture you go on. So thank you, Vennis, for just taking the time to share your experience with us. And thank you to our viewers for watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to visit our website and get in contact with our enrollment counseling team, and we will catch you in the next live stream. See you later.
Bye.